All right, so you sent us a story about Martha, and
Right.
well, it sounds like one of those feel-good stories that we all need from time to time, but like always, we're gonna dig a little deeper, see what we can find. Okay, so to set the scene, we've got Martha, a 68-year-old waitress at Fred's Diner, who's been, working hard her whole life.
Yeah, and it's interesting how right away we get this picture of someone who just embodies this quiet resilience. You
Yeah.
know, someone's been through a lot but keeps going, keeps showing up. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we have the incident that kind of kicks off the whole story. Martha accidentally spills coffee on none other than Barron Trump. Talk about a recipe for disaster.
It is. It's almost like a social experiment, isn't it? You've got this clash of worlds, the everyday working class woman, and then this figure who represents
Yeah.
wealth and privilege. And it just makes you wonder how those different realities are going to interact.
Exactly. So everyone in the diner is obviously waiting for a bad reaction. But then,
Yeah, yeah.
this is what really got me. Barron, instead of getting angry, he shows concern for Martha. He even wants to sit and talk with her.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. It's unexpected, which is probably why it resonated with so many people online. People are just drawn to stories that challenge their expectations,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to people in positions of power.
I know, it does make you think. Have we just become too cynical, like assuming the worst in people? Especially those who we see as different from us.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's definitely this tendency to put people into categories
Hmm.
based on, very little information. But these moments, they kind of remind us that those categories don't always hold up. People can surprise us.
For sure. And Barron definitely surprised everyone that day. Not only did he show Martha kindness and understanding, but he also found out about her dream of opening a cafe, a dream that she had to put aside because of financial struggles.
Right? And that's where we start to see some of the deeper themes coming through. The idea of a second chance, never being too late to go after your dreams, and the effect that even a small act of generosity can have on someone's life.
And Barron's generosity wasn't small at all. He left Martha a check, enough to pay off her debts and finally open her cafe. I'll be honest, when I first read that part, I felt this, wave of hope. Like, maybe good things can happen even when things seem impossible.
It's a powerful feeling. It really taps into something fundamental about being human, the need for hope, to believe in the possibility of a better future. Stories like Martha's, even if they seem exceptional, can reignite that sense of hope in all of us.
So with this newfound hope and financial backing, Martha sets out to open her cafe, but
Right.
I imagine it wasn't all easy, right? There must have been doubts, hurdles, maybe even some pushback from people who questioned her motives.
Oh, absolutely. Starting a business is never a walk in the park. And there's a certain vulnerability that comes with chasing a dream, especially later in life. Martha's story is a reminder that resilience and determination are crucial for success no matter how old you are.
And let's not forget the potential for judgment from others. People can be really quick to criticize, especially when they see someone else getting lucky.
It's true. Often it comes from a place of why them and not me, which is a natural human feeling, but sometimes it leads to negativity and resentment.
So despite all that, Martha persevered, driven by her newfound passion and the support she got from unexpected places. And then, of course, we have the grand opening of her cafe, which I'm guessing was filled with joy and probably a good amount of nerves.
It's the culmination of all her hopes and hard work. It's like her dream becoming a reality. And the fact that Barron was there, not just for the opening, but throughout the journey, it really says a lot about the impact it had on him, too.
Yeah, it's beautiful reminder that even what seem like small actions can have these ripple effects, touching lives in ways we might not fully grasp.
Yeah, and sometimes those ripples reach far beyond our immediate circle. Because remember, there was another element to this story that brought it into the public eye. The video of the grand opening went viral.
That's right. And that's where this whole story takes another really interesting turn. Because while the video definitely captured that heartwarming part of Martha's journey and Barron's support, it also makes you think about how stories are shaped and spread online these days.
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in those feel-good vibes, but we should also be thinking critically about what we're seeing. So what makes you say that the video's story might have been shaped in a certain way?
Well, it turns out the video that went viral wasn't just some random person's upload. It was actually filmed and edited by someone from Barron's team and shared on his social media.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does make you think about how we see the story.
So you're saying the video might have shown real events, but it was framed to emphasize certain things over others. Exactly. It's like choosing which quotes to use in an article or which footage to use in a documentary. You make choices about what to focus on and what to leave out, and those choices can influence how people see the story.
I see what you mean. It's not that the video was lying, but it might have shown a particular perspective, maybe one that made Barron look good or showed his charitable side.
Exactly, and this happens all the time, not just with viral videos, but with news stories, social media posts, even the stories we tell ourselves about our own lives. We're always shaping narratives, whether we realize it or not.
That's kind of unsettling, makes you wonder how much of what we see and believe is really true versus just a carefully constructed story.
It's something to think about for sure. And it shows how important media literacy is. Being able to analyze the information we consume and consider different points of view. It's also a good reminder to be aware of our own biases and how they might affect how we see things.
Okay, so how do we apply this critical thinking to Martha's story? What questions should we ask ourselves when we watch that viral video?
Well, for one, we can ask who benefits from the way the story is being told. Who are they trying to reach with this story, and what message are they trying to send? We can also think about whose voices or perspectives might be missing from the video.
Like, did we really get Martha's perspective beyond just her initial thankfulness for Barron's help? Did we see her struggles, her doubts, her own role in building her business?
Those are all great questions. Asking them helps us go deeper than just the surface level of the feel-good story and understand the more complicated parts of it.
This reminds me of something you mentioned earlier about people feeling resentful when someone else gets lucky. Did Martha face any backlash or criticism when her story became so public?
Oh yeah, she did. Not everyone was happy for her. Some people accused her of taking advantage of the situation, saying she was only successful because of Barron's money and the viral fame. Other people questioned her motives, saying she cared more about making money than actually helping her community.
It's a shame. It seems like you can't do anything good these days without someone getting upset.
It's true, and it reflects a bigger trend in society of being cynical and not trusting people, especially those who seem successful or privileged.
So how did Martha respond to all this criticism? Did it affect her business or how she felt?
It definitely affected her. It's hard to have your character and intentions questioned, especially when you're trying to do the right thing. But instead of getting defensive or giving up, she chose to address the criticism directly.
How did she do that? Did she try to reason with the critics or change their minds?
She did something even better. She let her actions speak for themselves.
I like that. What did she do?
She started a pay-it-forward program at her cafe where she gave free meals to people in need in her community.
Wow. So it wasn't just a PR stunt or a way to silence the critics. It was a real commitment to using her success to do something good.
Exactly. And it resonated with people. It showed that she genuinely cared and that she wasn't just focused on making money. It also changed the narrative from one of controversy and doubt to one of compassion and community.
That's a great example of how actions can be more powerful than words, especially in a world where everyone's so quick to judge.
It also shows the power of generosity, both receiving it and giving it. Martha was helped by Barron's generosity, but she didn't just keep it for herself. She paid it forward by being kind to others in her community.
This is where it gets really inspiring, I think, because it's not just about one person's success. It's about how kindness spreads and how it can make the world a better place.
Exactly. And it reminds us that we can all be part of that, even if we're not rich or famous. Whether it's helping a neighbor, volunteering our time, or just saying something, encouraging every act of kindness can make a difference.
So Martha's story sounds like it had a happy ending, even with all the challenges and criticism she faced. But I'm curious, did those challenges stop with the Pay It Forward program? Or were there more obstacles she had to overcome?
Well, life is rarely easy, no matter how inspiring the story might seem, and Martha's journey was no different. Just when things were going well, she had a major setback that almost ruined everything she'd worked for.
So we've got this amazing story about resilience and second chances and the power of kindness. But like you said, life is rarely a smooth ride, even in the most inspiring stories. What was this setback that almost shut down Martha's Cafe?
Well, it wasn't anything too crazy or dramatic, but it was definitely a big obstacle. A pipe burst in the cafe and caused a lot of water damage, so Martha had to close down temporarily for repairs.
Oh, wow. I bet that was incredibly frustrating and disappointing for her, just when her dream was finally coming true to have it all put on hold like that.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that setbacks are a part of life, and they often come when we least expect them. But what really matters is how we react to those setbacks.
So how did Martha deal with this unexpected challenge? Did she let it ruin all her progress or get her down?
I'm sure there were times when she felt discouraged and unsure. It's natural to feel overwhelmed when something like that happens, especially when you put so much of yourself into something. But the amazing thing is that she didn't give up. She found that same strength and resilience that had helped her through so many other tough times in her life.
It's almost like that burst pipe was a test for her, a way to prove to herself and everyone else that she was truly committed to her dream.
It's interesting when you think about it. Sometimes those unexpected roadblocks can actually make us stronger and more determined to succeed.
So, what did Martha do to get past this setback? Did she have to start over financially, or did she get help from the community?
Remember all those people who were quick to criticize her and question her motives? Well, when they heard about the flood, a lot of them actually stepped up to help. Some people donated money while others volunteered their time to help with the cleanup and repairs. It was really heartwarming to see the community come together like that.
That's amazing. It's like they say, you don't really know someone's character until they've gone through something tough. This situation revealed Martha's strength and the community's willingness to support her.
It's a powerful reminder that even in difficult times, people can come together and show their true colors.
So the community rallied behind her, the cafe was fixed, and Martha was able to reopen.
Exactly. And it was a celebration not just of the cafe reopening, but also of the community's resilience and spirit.
I bet that was a really special day for everyone.
It was. And a year later, the cafe had its anniversary. It had not only survived the flood, but it was thriving. It became a true gathering place for the community, where people from all backgrounds felt welcome and connected.
It's a testament to Martha's hard work and her ability to create something special, but I also think it shows the lasting impact of Barron's initial kindness. Who knows what might have happened if he hadn't taken the time to talk to Martha and hear her story?
We can't know for sure, but it's clear that his actions set off a chain of events that had a big impact on Martha and the community as a whole.
It makes you wonder what kind of positive changes we could create in our own lives if we chose to be kind and generous to others.
It's a powerful thought, isn't it?
Mm.
Even small acts of kindness can have a big impact on individuals, communities, and maybe even the world.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Martha's story, what are some of the most important things you hope our listeners will take away from it?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is the power of second chances. Martha's story reminds us that it's never too late to go after our dreams, make a change, or find a new path in life.
It's also a great example of how kindness can change things for the better, both for the person receiving it and the person giving it.
Absolutely. And it shows how important it is to be resilient, to never give up when we face challenges or setbacks. Because like we saw with Martha, those obstacles can make us stronger and even more determined.
And I think it's a good reminder that we all have the ability to make a positive impact in our own way. Whether it's through big actions or small acts of kindness, we can all help to create a more compassionate and connected world.
And you never know, our actions might inspire others and create a ripple effect of positive change that reaches far beyond us.
That's an inspiring thought and a great way to end our conversation. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure. And to our listener, thanks for sharing this story with us. It's a great reminder that even in a world that often feels divided and uncertain, there are still stories of hope, resilience, and the power of human connection.